Hi, this is Gotti Elcon with Selig Film News. We're here with the team behind King Kill 63. Guys, introduce yourselves.
I'm Ryan Page. I'm the director and co-writer and producer of King Kill 63.
My name's Joe Green. I'm the co-writer and co-producer of King Kill 63.
Guys, the 50th was such a big thing. It was really emotional for the city itself, because the city went through such a hard, I want to say, decade and a half of everyone hating the city, and then a slow recovery with the sixth floor museum being opened, and people started finally looking into this. And there's been so many things written about it and made about it. Why should people pay attention to King Kill 63?
Take that one, yeah.
Well, I mean, what we did is we've tried to use Oliver Stone as kind of the touchstone of the film. So JFK came out in 91, 92, and because of JFK, there were about 6 million pages of documents that were released following the film. And so we're looking back at the evidence that was released after the film and then Oliver Stone's experience in making JFK.
With that declassification, that has opened the door to so many new ways of looking at it, so many maybe questions finally getting answers, but there's also a lot of other questions being raised.
Sure.
How did y'all go through that material, and what was it that you found that was like, okay, we can have an arc once we sit down with Oliver and we get all the details?
Well, Oliver came in late. This project came out of a feature film called Dallas in Wonderland, which is, we're shooting at the end of the summer. So in that film, the main character is a documentary filmmaker. So we started this project as it was going to be the film that filmmaker was making. And then it just sort of took on a life of its own. It kept growing and growing, and this documentary started getting bigger and bigger. And over time, Oliver came on, and then it just opened up. Then it became about the 50th and Oliver and everything that came out in the wake of JFK, okay? So Joe's how long have you been doing research on this? Quite some time.
For about close to 15 years. I was a member of a group called the Coalition on Political Assassinations, which is now defunct because John Judge, who was the head of it, died last year. But I was going to be at the 50th regardless. So we brought the cameras down and shot everything that was going down. And if you were there, it was quite a scene.
Were you there?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, we did the JFK symposium at the beginning of the month.
Oh, okay.
And we were all present for that amazing thing that happened. It was kind of
Were
crazy.
you inside Dealey Plaza, or?
We were just outside of it, so
Okay.
we could see into it, but we weren't like actually in the actual square.
We filmed that whole day, and it was just insane. I mean, and freezing too, by the way.
Yeah.
It was like the
Really
coldest
cold,
day.
yeah.
Yeah, our hands were freezing and all that. But it was, what do you where you stand on this kind of issue? We're turning the tables, you see.
It's tricky. I think with all the files being released, there was so much stuff that was like, okay, this is obviously not what happened. Personally, I don't think it was just one man.
Right.
But I've talked with like Hugh Ainsworth, and
Right.
I was a student of Bill Mercer, and he was part of a book too as well.
Sure.
That they're staunch about it. They think it happened one way, and for these like legendary newsmen to look at it a certain way, it's hard for me to go, no, you guys are nuts. Like,
Right.
it's obvious something happened, but I don't know. There isn't a conspiracy I've thought that, oh, it's hit on, but I'm curious, what made you guys, since you guys aren't from this area, what made you interested in putting so much time to it? What was it?
Well, for me, I got hired to write a script on a little indie film that fell apart, but he wanted it to be about sort of conspiracy theories. And so because of that, I read a couple of books, and then I just started getting interested in the case, and I've sort of been working on it ever since. There's a lot of extraordinary information out there, even today. For example, Lee Harvey Oswald's tax records are still classified. Now, if there's nothing to find there, why would that still be the case? That's a rather extraordinary event.
There's a lot with Oswald that doesn't add up.
Yeah.
A lot about why he was in the country. There's so much with the whole situation with Oswald.
Yeah.
Ryan, what was it for
Yeah.
you? What caught your eye?
It's funny because my the thing that got me interested in this case was really Oliver Stone's JFK. I saw it as a sophomore in high school. My father took me to it. My father's a part of this film too, co-writing with Joe and I. But as soon as I saw that film, it just sort of rearranged the furniture in my head, and I went on this lifelong mission to find out what's going on. The coolest thing about documentaries is you get to kind of tackle your interests and just explore them for a year at a time, and that's the coolest thing about being a documentary filmmaker, I think. But with this one, this was 3 years of solid research, crazy esoteric strangeness, and but it's been amazing.
Yeah.
What was Oliver like when you finally got word? Okay, he's gonna sit down and talk to us. Hey, what was that moment like? And then what was it like talking to him?
It was incredible.
Yeah, it was
he's the man.
amazing.
Yeah.
He's sits down. You turn the camera on, and he just starts knocking it out.
Oh.
I mean, he's on fire.
I think he said he hadn't really looked at a lot of, research or the latest research for the past 5 years, but he came back in and did. He could have gone for 6 hours, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, just the most detailed information too. So, he's a big supporter of what we're doing, and he really opened a lot of doors for this film too, I will say.
He hasn't done that for
No.
anyone else.
No,
so
he hasn't.
What's that like? Because he's been quiet about other films that
Yeah.
did this.
I don't know. We had I think it was a combination of one of our producers had worked with him a while ago, and she sort of opened the door, but he just dug what we were doing, and that's it. He knew we were making Dallas in Wonderland. That helped, but he's doing the new Edward Snowden picture right now, so we're excited to see that, and it's going to be his version of JFK now, I think. But,
Edward's an interesting case to bring up for this. It's
Yeah.
him personally is so interesting as a person, but just how many, even if you're on the side that doesn't like him,
Right.
you have to admit what he did was important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So can you talk about that, with that case kind of opening the door for people still keeping interested in older cases like JFK and all the history that it's been going on? What does that do for you guys in your film? I mean, it just keeps things alive, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at what one could arguably call a national security state, right?
Right.
And all this secrecy, plus they're monitoring all of us all of the time. I mean, one feels, at least in my opinion, that going back to 50 years to the Kennedy assassination, that something very drastic changed that day, and the things that happened that day have something to do with what's going on now.
Absolutely, yeah. And Oliver feels the same way. This is all a continuation of what started in November of '63.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have you guys ever had a fear? Ever experienced something that was just what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, you go first. I mean, Joe's been doing this for. I mean, you've been in the research community for how long?
A while,
now?
and you do kind of play spot the FBI agent sometimes in these conferences, but I've never felt personally threatened, I guess. Also, I used to be a private eye, and I've had people try to kill me, so I'm sort of used to it at this point.
Dangerous guy.
Yeah, yeah. We have had some strange things happen. Governor Jesse Ventura is also in our film, and we met with his son, and they did a whole JFK thing. They had a show called Conspiracy Theory, and he said they were followed, and he's had people digging through his trash. We've had a lot of strangeness, and actually, well, I don't know if we should get into it, but there's something actually that happened just yesterday.
Yeah.
It was kind of the biggest thing, but I don't know if we can go into
Yeah,
that.
probably not.
Probably not, but it's kind of weird.
I guess that happened here while getting into town.
Right before we got on a plane.
Yeah.
But it is related to what's going on. So it's going to be exciting tomorrow. Come out to the screening at the Texas Theater, and could be interesting.
Let's talk about that. Are you going to try and sit in row 5, seat 3? I know it's not the same seat, but come on.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. No, we actually
Switch,
shot it
take
at the
picture. Yeah.
No, we shot at the Texas Theater, so it's cool. It's the perfect place for us to premiere just the history, and we might have to wear flak jackets. I don't
Yeah,
know, but
we're planning to get arrested at the spot that Oswald got arrested
we're
at.
gonna go out yelling, yeah. What are we gonna yell again?
We are not resisting
Yes,
arrest.
we are not resisting
Yes.
arrest. Yeah.
I think James would be proud, by the way. So, what can people expect tomorrow? It is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
It will. This is our world premiere. We are excited because we haven't even watched the film with an audience yet, and that's we've been racing up. We just really finished yesterday and are still throwing stuff in today. So, we're excited because you learn so much as a filmmaker. You learn so much the first time you sit with an audience. That's you just can feel when your film's doing well, and you can feel when it's not where it needs to be. Get a little nip and tuck. So, I mean, we're very proud of what we made. I think the audience will dig it. But yeah, there hasn't been a. It was important to us. There've been a lot of films made on the Kennedy assassination. It was very important to us that we didn't. There's no need to remake that film that's been made, from either perspective. We really made something that is, I don't know, it's just got it's got an edge to it, it's got cool music, and it's got the very latest in research, the stuff that you'd be amazed that the things that people don't know about the assassination. That's what is incredible. Yeah. Just, I'd say, and this is, no BS, but 9 out of 10 people don't even know that there was a police officer, Tippit, that was murdered that day. And this is for real. And I'm talking about people who were alive during the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's something that just won't go away because there's something missing.
There's something there.
It's a healing thing that we haven't done yet. The country hasn't healed because we haven't been allowed to heal. To heal, you have to know what happened that day, and we still don't. And some people in our film, one of our Jim DiEugenio says that he says that, what does he say? He says that what's
People
his
who
line?
say, that we'll never know.
That's the line. Yeah.
There's a reason why we're never going to know.
He
and
says,
why don't we get
do
into
know.
that?
Yeah, we do know a lot more.
Yeah.
We do know now what happened that day, or close to what happened. We may not know the shooters' names, but who cares about the shooters' names? I mean, it doesn't matter. They're probably mostly dead. It matters how this thing came about.
Yeah, definitely. Talk to me about being at Dallas International Film Festival, and World Premiere needs to happen here. So what's that experience?
Well, I've been here. I've had another film here before 2 years ago called Queens of Country, which was picked up by Tribeca Films and coming out later this year. This was one of the coolest fests that we traveled to, all of them on that film, and this one and one other one were the ones we dug the most. So on top of having to premiere this particular film at this festival, which is for reasons that are obvious, this is just the most fun festival. We just dug it. They treat filmmakers great here, and we look forward to coming back. I know this is Joe's first time. Is this your first film festival?
This is
in
my
general?
first film
Okay.
festival, period.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's starting out right.
Yeah, I think you'll love it from here on out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for bringing this. I think it's going to be a wonderful experience, and I can't wait to see it myself and see what you guys have done.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming back, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Thank you.
Thanks.